All right, hello, and welcome to the Rag Company podcast. I don't know what number this is because this is more of a crossover special episode. We're actually on location at the RUPES facility of RUPES USA. And I've got with me a rogue gallery of different characters here. Why don't you introduce yourself, starting with Anthony and work our way back towards me.
All right, so I'm Anthony, the Rag Company, and here to party.
Hi, Anthony. I'm Dylan of RUPES USA. I'm also here to party. And make sure
that's what you're going to say.
Yeah.
That's why we got these water
Yeah,
bottles.
lots of water here.
Lots of water.
Very hydrated.
Next on the list,
Levi Gates, and I am here hanging out as, face of the Rag Company.
There you go.
yeah, there we go.
A face for podcast.
Next up.
Jason Rose, RUPES. I lead this training center that we're in right now, and
It's a nice place.
I'm not here to party.
Oh.
There to work.
Maybe we'll change your mind.
What?
Well, let's have everybody introduce themselves.
Yeah.
We all know who we're talking
Yeah,
to.
we should probably
We got a
mention that we
crowd
are in
here.
front of a live audience.
Hello, everybody. All right. Well, let's go around the horn. If everybody wants to introduce yourselves, starting with your name and then...
Maybe
what
your shop?
Yeah, shop. If you got
Yeah.
a shop or if you're a hobbyist, let us know. Just run around the horn, starting with you.
My name's Sergio, and I own Denver Auto Detail Specialist.
Cool.
Awesome.
Business.
Welcome, Sergio. Yeah.
My name's Thomas. I own HC Detailing.
Welcome aboard.
Cool.
My name is Gerardo. I'm just trying to keep my car clean.
It's okay. You're all welcome.
I was walking down the street and I
just
just
saw the door. Where's the music? I came in.
Heard there was some snacks.
That's why I'm here.
All right, you have to speak up.
My name is Bor, and he got me into this.
It's his fault.
I was dragged against my will.
My name is Chris, and I do mobile detailing in Denver.
Awesome.
Wow, mobile guy in Denver. I got to talk to you later because I'm curious about how the whole seasonal thing works for you.
I work in a shop for when it's slow, but
So you hibernate in the winter and
yes,
then.
sir.
Okay.
I'm John. I'm a hobbyist. I own my garage.
Nice, there you
Very
go.
nice.
That's
My
good.
garage.
Congrats on
Good business
that.
name.
That or the bank owns it.
It's a co-ownership deal. I get it.
It's a shared venture.
Zach, I also just a hobbyist.
Nice.
Just a hobbyist. It's like
Hey, hobbyists
you're
are
awesome
welcome
as
too.
You're a
hobbyist.
hobbyist that showed up here for a podcast, so you're a serious hobbyist.
There's not much to do.
Oh, man. do I feel bad.
You heard there was snacks, right?
Yeah, free snacks.
Speaking of snacks.
My name is Israel. I own Royal Detail.
Nice.
Jerry from Colorado Detail.
Welcome aboard.
Steve, who used to be a hobbyist, now owns Colorado Detail.
He transitioned to it.
Michelle worked with Steve and Jerry at Colorado Detail.
Awesome.
Oh, I knew we'd get her to speak.
And the guys in the back.
You got guys in the back. You can't
Yeah,
see
you're not getting out of this.
No, you're not getting out of this. All right.
My name is Mondo. Just here to keep my car clean as well.
Okay.
My name is Chris, and I'm just here to do it as a hobby too, and
Oh.
hopefully soon do it as a business.
Awesome.
Right on.
Welcome,
Cool.
Chris.
Welcome,
guys.
everybody.
Thank you for coming out every day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So maybe we should start by explaining what room we're in, because that seems like an important
Where-
spot to
where
start.
are we? Why are
What are
we
we
here?
doing?
Sure. Well, we all fortunately fit into the bathroom at the academy. And forgive the toilet flush. No, so this is our Bigfoot Academy. We actually have a sister Bigfoot Academy in Milan, Italy, which parts of this facility were kind of mirrored off that. But and then we also have Bigfoot Academies throughout the world in different countries. But our main flagship academies are Milan, Italy, and now Denver, Colorado in the United States. So this is a brand new facility. We literally have been in here, what, Dylan, 3 months?
Just over 2 months now.
Yeah. So it still has that new car smell, so to speak, the new building smell. And
Paint's still wet. That's the walls.
There were dudes still painting this afternoon.
No joke, yeah. No, I mean, literally, I'm not kidding when I say the paint is still wet. It's not a joke.
so the facility is part of our commitment as a company for education, and we're putting on a variety of different programs. Most of the programs in this facility are partnered with one of our distribution partners, so we partner together to do specific training on specific topics. But the facility is big enough to handle 5 cars in the garage to do the hands-on sessions, you're in the classroom here where we have tables and chairs that we can reconfigure to handle small groups, medium-sized groups, large-sized groups.
Do a podcast.
Or we can actually do a podcast in this room.
We should try that.
That'd be fun.
We'll think
we do
about
that right now.
So, we have our product display on one wall that has our complete assortment of what we sell in the United States, which is frankly a smaller part of what we sell globally. This is just a piece of it. But we're very proud of this facility. It's been, 2 years in the making, and we do have a full service wash bay, or not full service, but a
Full service. Your wash side
wave the towel. Okay, your car's ready.
Oh, wow.
So it's
We're trained professional detailers, Jason, not car.
but a complete wash bay that we can do, pressure washing, spot-free rinsing, and foam injection, foam gun. So it's a pretty complete facility. We
You got everything on site.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And so the marketing guy's going to jump in because the next question that everybody's going to be screaming into their
When
phones.
can I go?
When can I go to the facility, Jason? So the best place to go is check out the website. The new website just recently launched, rupesusa.com. There's an events calendar, so if we're doing special events like tonight's open house, it'll appear there. We've got special guests, the Rag Company, hanging out with us. There is also a tab for the Bigfoot Academy that is almost done, and that will have a full ongoing schedule of all the classes that Mr. Rose will be teaching, which will range from basics of polishing all the way up to super hyper advanced, make your car 3D, like the Predator, it disappears because it's so glossy kind of things. No? Is that what we're going to do? No?
We can do that.
Okay, cool. So, but there'll be a whole list, and you guys can sign up for. Most of the classes at this point are planned to be a free of charge thing. We're really, really dedicating ourselves to this idea of we want to teach people to be better detailers. We think if we show everybody why we do what we do and how we do what we do, we don't have to sell you stuff because you're going to go, oh, that makes sense. I'll buy that thing. Or you can write checks to us like Steve does, and then we just send him tools, and it's a paid. Oh, never mind. Lots of tools, free tools. But yeah, so I mean, it's free with a check.
Yeah.
That's how that works. I get you get free tools. Yeah, as soon as I get your check. But yeah, so the website being a new thing, it's being updated. But so check back. Once this podcast is out there in the universe, check back often. We're going to be constantly adding more classes, more events like this as they become available. It's it's fun for us. We like having people here, and it's not just showing off how cool we are. It's actually we can come together and talk about what we're all passionate about, which is making cars shiny, right?
Yeah.
Sounds right to me.
That's similar to what we do at the Rag Company. That's our goal is very similar by having you've come out and you're coming out again in a couple months.
I will be there.
And that's our thing too. Is that we've always touted that education first, sales will follow. So our goal as a company, and the whole reason we do podcasts, the whole reason we do our YouTube channel, with all our videos, is to help educate whether you're a pro detailer or a home hobbyist, and get you started. Whether you're literally just starting out, like on our Wash Wednesday series, where Anthony literally teaches somebody who has never washed their car fully before on their
people
own.
still exist. Which
It
is
is
crazy.
it is very surprising, or they've never heard of a rinseless wash or a waterless wash or
the two-bucket method.
two-bucket method
Or a
foam
microfiber
pad
towel.
or a microfiber towel or anything like that.
Oh, I got to
get
go to
them-
that class.
Yeah, we get them started just learning how to wash, and then from there, like some of you guys that are doing this in your garage, this is how you start. You start with learning how to wash your car, and then you start figuring out how to make that progression to where you're polishing. And that's our whole goal, is education. So our theory is if we can educate you not only on the type of microfiber and the safe use of certain microfibers, we don't care if you buy it from us or not. Our whole goal is to make sure you know why you're buying quality microfiber and why it's different than if you're going to go to Home Depot or Costco or any of the big box stores, so to speak, and pick up towels from
We're trying to
there.
make it
why
fun,
you're
too.
buying quality microfiber from us.
Well said. Yeah, we try to make it fun. We try to make it to where people can, easily get that information. Go to our website. You go to our About Us. You go onto any of our product pages, and we have our blends listed. We have our country of origin listed. We have sizing. We have everything.
We have the GSM. We have the weave. We give you everything.
And that's our big thing. We're not just telling you this microfiber is good. We tell you this microfiber is good for maybe this particular thing and why it's good for that particular thing. And because just like the polishers, there's different polishers for different reasons, right? You're not going to take a Bigfoot 21 and go and use that on a small little area of door trim, unless you want to make a mess.
Try and polish out your Grom.
Or polish out my Honda Grom with a 21. I'm not going to do that, right? Just like, so there's certain towels out there that, like a waffle weave isn't the best polish and wax removal towel. There's better towels out there for that are going to, have less micro marring or are just going to do a better job of absorbing. So that's where we start, is just kind of in the towel realm, but all of us are detailers on the side. I'm a hobbyist. I kind of come at it from the person that started, in their garage, somebody that just had a cool car and they wanted to take care of it. And then I kind of went down, Levi says progressing. I call it going down a rabbit hole that's just never ending, and it gets really deep and dark. And
so I call it progressing. You're going up.
It's hard to
going down.
It is like a madness thing, and so. But
eventually you're in a corner somewhere, rocking back and forth in the fetal position.
But it's comforting knowing that even these professionals out here can relate to where people start and where people end, and can kind of bring you back some balance in your life and say that, hey, not everything's perfect. I mean, Dylan right here has his truck in the wash bay next door, and the first thing he says, because he knows people are going to go up there and start judging it, he says, I know it's not perfect, it hasn't been fully corrected yet, but it still was polished. Not fully corrected, but so it starts somewhere. And
he's being bashful. It's pretty darn good looking.
And it is very good looking.
For a guy who watches one bucket, I do okay.
Yeah, for a guy that watches the bucket. And people that don't know what that means, they'll find out soon.
Find out soon.
I'll be the judge of that.
Nobody died.
It's really cool, and I think this facility is just a great place. It's kind of like a mecca where a lot of people can come together and learn. And us walking through the door for the first time yesterday, we were just amazed at seeing how awesome this is, and this is something that we want to do in the future at the Rag Company.
There's an open lot across the street, so talk to Jeff and see if he'll...
I feel like this is a good area for detailing, and I don't know why, just this certain...
It's a vibe.
Yeah, it's like the vibe.
How's business?
Yeah, you guys tell us. How's it going out here? No? Oh, okay. Well,
he's a transplant. He doesn't know. He's a fresh transplant.
Don't move to Colorado. It's the worst.
He's just saying that so people don't move here, right?
I tried that night. It's awful.
But thanks for being here, Rag Company guys. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And you guys have a great social media campaign going on right now.
Yeah.
Counting.
Counting. Yeah. Every
what do you
week.
call it?
Well, it's all Anthony.
The towel guest giveaway.
I don't want to talk too much, but there's actually people in here that participate in that, which is so funny. It's called our towel guest giveaway. Every week, what we do is we take a big stack of towels, or we'll create some type of mound, or
last week we made a 4-leaf clover.
And we'll use a ridiculous amount of towels to make these big creations. And then it's just like a kid guessing how many gumballs are in a jar. Same thing with a stack of towels. And if you guess the correct number, we send you out free towels.
But this week
we did a cool little twist on it. We actually just did this today. We tried to figure out how many polishers we could stack up, but we thought people would count that. So we had to make it a little more complicated. So we did a big stack of smaller hybrid pads, and little 3 inchers on there, and did a bunch of them, and a big old mound where we have Jason and Dylan behind the stack, so people can guess how many are in there. And if you guess the correct amount, we're picking 2 winners on the Rag Company Instagram. We're picking or 1 winner on the Rag Company Instagram and 1 winner on the RUPES Instagram. You guys are sending out somebody a prize, and we are sending out a prize.
How many comments are on there now currently? It's only been about 4 hours.
It's only been a couple hours, but they add up pretty fast. I'll tell you guys right now. Right now, we're sitting at a little over 400 comments. So hopefully, by tomorrow.
So if you haven't done it yet and you're on,
double that. Everybody's looking for fun.
Nobody hates free stuff. I'm pretty sure.
So it's pretty cool. We do fun campaigns. So I think it's time to start moving on. Now that you guys know about us, if you guys have questions about towels, we kind of want to start fielding all sorts of questions, and any questions that you want to field to, ask RUPES.
Yeah, anybody got something you want to know about towels, something you want to know about polishers, anything, everything?
Okay, here we go. First question.
I'm pretty green at this. Like I said, we just got into this.
Okay.
So a noob.
I have a question about the GSM.
Mm-hmm.
I figured there was the gram per square meter, right? And how important is it? Because I've seen on Amazon anything from 300 up to 1200.
Yeah,
Levi's
your guy.
Oh, so grams per square meter is just the weight of the towel. That's the only that's the only qualifier that it is. So it doesn't tell you whether it absorbs a lot, and it doesn't tell you if it's really soft. It's only going to give you the density. So it's basically your personal preference at that point. You can get a 1400 GSM, the thickest, plushest, heaviest towel, and try and use it. But if it is difficult to wipe on the car and it's hard to hold in your hand and you have issues, it's not going to be a fun towel to use, regardless if it's the biggest, thickest, plushest thing out there. You may grab just a traditional standard terry towel that is a 320 GSM, which is like the standard, and use that and go, well, this works great. I can do this for everything. But maybe you want a plush. So at that point, it's basically your weave, the blend of the fabric, that kind of stuff that you want to work at. But most guys find that, and ladies find that 300 to 500 is about the sweet spot for almost all types of towels. I'm not saying that don't use 1400 GSM. Like, have fun with them, enjoy them. If you like them and you want to play with them, go for them. That's a nice towel. But like for interiors, I'll use a 245, so a very thin, very light towel, because I'm going to go through a bunch of them. So I don't mind if they get saturated. So it really just depends on your personal preference. So don't be swayed by a super high GSM, because it's not
doesn't
really
equal better.
It's not going to make it better.
And I was going to add to that point, one of the things about GSM is, like you said, it's density. So all it is basically how much of that is packed into a square meter, if you were to stretch it out. But basically, if it's made from bad material to start with, you just have more bad material. It's not going to do any good. Whether you have a lot of it or a little of it, it's not going to change things. It's just
perfect example is
more crap is more crap.
The 350 that you guys brought, the new one, that purple one that's here. Like I liked the regular edgeless. It was a 500, right?
Yep.
So, but I actually think I like, now that I've played with the 350, I actually like it better, and the quality's still the same. It's just it feels lighter, and I don't feel like I have as much to. So I'm a towel folder. I'm like a 4-fold guy, and so by the time you take a 500 GSM towel, fold it into fourths. It's like you're this far away from the paint now.
Yeah.
Like that 350, I folded it. I still felt like I had connection with the paint. It felt like it was easier to control it. So that's
a very important point there. The tactile feel as you're doing your work, and that towel weight makes a lot of difference. So I actually learned something new while I'm shopping for towels. I always thought that GSM meant get some money.
Well, generally, you get a bigger towel, it's going to cost more. There is that. It's more material.
Okay, I understand.
Like I said, if it's more and it's not a good material to start with, it's just more junk.
Yeah, the filament itself makes a huge difference on performance.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, but I always like doing like a 245 for interior, just a thin throwaway towel basically, and then 365 for paint work, just for like compound and polishing, and then I usually use like an Eagle, like a 350 or 500 for like detail sprays and things like that.
Yeah,
quick detailers.
It's all personal preference. I mean, at the end of the day, we try to tell people that they are towels, but if you were to go take, for example, our Everest 1100, which is a super ultra plush dense towel that has the circular knit weave on it, and take that onto your velour seats in your car, you're going to see some mad linting. You're going to so there's different towels for different purposes. So that's why Interior details a 245 GSM with a terry microfiber weave, which is the style of weave, is going to give you more scrubbing power. It's going to feel a little bit, I guess, lighter in your hand. It's not going to lint as much, but there's different weaves for everything. And so people that use terry towels on their glass that like it, cool, go for it. There is dedicated glass towels. There's herringbone weave for glass. There's twist pile weaves for glass as well, and drying, but circular knit weaves, which the Eagle basically is, it's a very plush, very shag carpet feel. That's going to be what we would deem as the safest weave in the microfiber realm. And the reason why we say that is because the way it's designed, and because of the higher pile, and because of more area for dirt to kind of go up into, right, and protect it and go up into the fibers, it's going to keep it from that surface. So like going back in the day when people are using chamois, right, they said that they're absorbent and they like to use them, but when you actually look at the surface of a chamois, it's completely flat, right? If you have dirt trapped between a chamois and your clear coat, right, and it can't go up, where is it going to go? it's going to go down, or it's going to stay right in the middle and just agitate the surface. So
also somebody killed a cow or a sheep to make that chamois.
Yeah, so you're going to feel pretty bad about
nothing
that.
like rubbing your car down with dead animal skin. I mean, really, let's think about that for a second, right?
If you enjoy that, but I guess something else that we can
Silence of the Lambs.
ask you guys, keeping it real shit in the past. So it got weird. What towels? Let's just ask real quick. Where do you guys buy your towels from? I mean, we're not saying you're not push towels, but we're just curious. What towels do you currently use in your detail shop, in your home? What do you guys like?
Don't be shy. Whoever.
We just went over it.
Fine.
Costco towels, I just really enjoy.
Hey, those are great towels for interiors.
Yep.
Towels.
But that's and the Costco towels are 320, 80, 320 GSM, 80/20 all-purpose tear.
Well,
They've gotten better over the years than they used to be. They're still not great, but
They still have a tag, but
they still have a tag.
we don't hate on them.
We're wiping our hands with them today.
No, I tell people first time out of the bag, they're actually really darn good. It's just every time after that, they fall apart quickly.
Yeah.
That's what I find everybody's experience with them is.
Yeah.
But I was going to say specifically though, the Costco towel, since everybody's pretty familiar with it, that's what we mean when we talk about a terry weave. So if you're familiar with the design of the Costco towel, that's that kind of weave is the terry weave. We're not talking about cotton. We're not talking about that kind of thing. So
like a bath towel.
just to clarify.
Yeah, and it's even with Costco towels. I mean, we're not saying they're bad towels. There's plenty of pro detailers out there. You'll see on YouTube. You'll see on all these stuff. They'll use Costco towels. They're fine with it. They still get great results with it. We're not saying it's a bad towel, but when you're buying microfiber, we always try to tell people, it's an investment as well. You're spending a lot of money to invest into good microfiber, and we want you to get the length, out of the time you have it.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. It's just another tool. You have to have a towel to do 99% of the jobs in detailing unless you're using compressed air. So, if you invest in good microfiber, they are going to last you. We have the 365, for example, which would be an edgeless 70-30 blend. That's a towel that is a terry weave that I've had for 4 years now, since before I was an employee at the rag company, that I've put through hell and back. And I'm talking through literally hell and back, and it still works to this day, and I still use it on paint, and it's just crazy. But I mean,
Steven was going to say something before you rudely interrupted him.
Sorry, my bad.
Steve's going to list off all his towels. It's like a long list.
Please tell us about it.
No, but you can even talk. You don't have to talk brands if you don't want to. You can just talk type.
Sure.
Like
We use a lot of 500.
Yeah.
And then there's
you use a super plush.
And we have when we do basic detailing for washing, we use a super plush one. I think it's around 900 or 1,000. I can't remember exactly, but I think they work the best because they trap the dirt in the towel, not on the car like the chamois. We kind of go pretty much have 4 towels that we use kind of exclusively whenever we detail cars, because when you start using more and more different towels, it gets really complicated.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially for when you have employees too.
And then Michelle yells at me because she put the wrong towel in the wrong bin.
And you use different towel for glass?
We do. What was the one we were talking about?
It's like our creature. It's a dual pile. Short pile on one side, long pile on the other.
Yeah, we like the short pile, like the blue one. It's like a short pile on one side, a little plush on the other side. And we always use alcohol and water to clean glass. It always works the best. We never really have issues with it. A lot of people wonder how we get the glass so clean. They're so amazed. That's like the one thing that they're like, how'd you get the glass so clean? And it's just alcohol and water.
Everybody write that down.
Yeah,
right?
one of those things that sticks out, the glass.
I gotta go to Costco and buy a thing of alcohol. And then repackage it as glass cleaner.
Now, do you use the whiskey or the tequila?
I like the Claire tequila. Patron.
That's a good question.
Yeah, vodka's awesome on windows.
One for you?
Yeah,
What do you guys think of the best cleaner for microfibers? I mean, we use different products, but
detergent-wise, or
detergent-wise.
That's a good question.
Well, there's the industry standard is Micro Restore, and that is a really good cleaner, and it works really well. There's a lot of different companies that have made lots of different ones, and we don't have one yet. But we usually just tell people even if you're just a home hobbyist, free and clear detergent. Works great. Cold or warm wash, never hot, because microfiber melts at 140 degrees, and your hot water heater from your from in your house is factory set at 140. So your towels will melt, and basically all that'll melt is the fibers are like a hand and fingers, and as they melt, they do this. They just start to curl down, so that you lose the dexterity of the fibers. And then, so warm or cold with a free and clear detergent, whether it be like all free and clear, Tide free and clear, Arm & Hammer free, any of those free and clears are fine.
It's the allergen friendly stuff.
Yeah,
No dyes.
no dyes, no
skin
perfumes.
kind, you know.
And then one thing we've used to and recommend is distilled white vinegar, because it's highly acidic. So you put that in your bleach port or your fabric softener port. They both release during the rinse cycle, and that will remove any, if you're using spray sealants like an SiO2 sealant or just a polymer sealant that you're using on your car. Not only is it sealing the paint, but it's also sealing the towel itself.
Microfiber doesn't like to let go of things.
No, and microfiber's whole goal is just a bunch of hands. They're just going to grab you and grab everything they can. And so the goal is to clear all that out of the surface. So that's what the white vinegar does as it hits the rinse cycle. So you use the soap to remove all your waxes, sealants, degreasers, things like that in it, and then the final rinse will rinse with that vinegar. And then for drying, again, no heat, low heat, air dry. So we usually recommend like tumble low or no heat. In my shop, I ran no hot water to the washing machine. I just ran a cold water port, and then I took my heating element out of my dryers so that my guys couldn't melt my towels. And it took a really long time to dry towels, but I mean, if you think about it, most detail shops just have towels running all day anyway. So
cycle them through.
Yeah, you just would, once one load was done, you'd start another one, keep going. And so, but this way it protected, you know, at least my guys from any mistakes, period. Because there's always that one guy that'll go up and just not even thinking.
And there's one specific note on that too. When he's talking about the vinegar, that's specifically if you're using like the all free and clear, that kind of stuff. If you're using a non-microfiber specific detergent, because the microfiber specific detergents will kind of handle that element of it, but the vinegar is awesome. I mean, it works just as good, if not better, in some situations.
Yeah,
so.
And then no fabric softener or dryer sheets. Same thing. The fabric softener and the dryer sheets act like a ski glove, basically, over the microfiber, and it coats each individual fiber. Can we
throw in some tennis balls?
You can. It's probably gonna grab all the lint off the tennis ball.
You're gonna have.
They actually do make those little agitator things, like a little pokey plastic ball thing you throw in there. Those are safe because those aren't going to stick.
Plastic, not lint, because otherwise the microfiber will attack the tennis ball
or tennis racket.
Or
tennis racket,
or an old shoe.
One thing I want to point out too is when you are washing them, you know, just try to be. I mean, you don't want to wash your wheel towels with your paint towels, right? You don't want to be mix and matching those. You want to try to wash with like purposes, and so.
I guess you just found somebody who washes their towels together.
Okay. Oh, so.
Hey, we're not
Steve broke your legs. I think that's so mean.
It's getting crazy, man.
So violent.
It's weird. So, yeah, keep. Yeah.
Well, it's just like. I'm just kidding. It's just like
it's like your colors on your.
Yeah, it's like your laundry at home. You don't wash like your filthy, dirty like yard work clothes with like your nice dress shirts.
Yeah.
At least you shouldn't.
I would never do that.
Yeah, who would do that? That'd be weird.
So yeah, just wash and then try to. I mean, if you're really weird about your towels, I mean, as far as color wise, just know that the darker colors, depending on how they were dyed, obviously are going to bleed onto the lighter color towels. So if you just bought some brand new white towels that you're trying to keep in mint condition, right? Wash them with other white towels. Don't wash those white towels with a red towel. Otherwise, you're going to have a pink towel.
You don't know how many people call and go, I washed all my towels together and they bled, and now I got a bunch of pink towels.
And the towels are brown now.
Yeah, and then
what the heck? And it's like,
you're like, great, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
You wash, do you do the same where you wash your clothes that way? Like, you separate your clothes, right? And they're like, no, my wife does that. And I was like, okay. So it's the first load of laundry you've done in maybe 10 years.
It's amazing he even knew where the washing machine was.
So,
And only wash microfiber with microfiber, and that's the other big thing too. Don't throw in a cotton towel. You're going to pull out a microfiber towel that's kind of a bunch of little cotton balls on it, and those are going to take forever to get rid of. And we also try to tell people as well too that try to what's the right word I'm looking for? Downgrade your microfiber as time goes on. If you're using a towel and it's just been beat and it's been tossed in sand, or your wife washed it wrong or something like that, maybe dedicate that to a wheeled towel, right? Something that it can do before you throw it away. Or if you're really OCD about it, you can just toss it from there. But towels have a long lifespan.
Yeah.
If you just
take care of them
downgrade-
properly.
Yep.
That was actually his question, was the longevity you can expect out of a towel in general.
As long as it's a high quality, if it's a high quality microfiber itself, it will last a lot longer if you take care of it.
And when there's a certain point where some people will buy towels and they say, and they can justify, and we understand this because we have a lot of these customers that will buy a towel as a throwaway towel. They will use it, abuse it, and then toss it. They won't wash it because it's just cheap enough to where it's not worth their time.
Wheels, door jams, interior towels a lot of times. Metal polishing towels.
Yeah, definitely metal polishing towels. They'll just toss them because it's just not worth it. If the towel costs 50 cents and they say, okay, well, I'm going to spend the extra time, storing this towel until I have enough of them to wash them together, it just makes more sense just to toss them at that time. And so there are towels for that. And, that's why we offer, high-end towels, but we also offer cost-efficient towels. And with the coating market getting so big nowadays, same thing with coating towels. People will want a cost-efficient towel that they can throw away after a coating because, as some people know, when that coating hardens onto that those microfibers of the towel, it can cause some serious micro-marring and damage later on. And you don't want to do all this work on your next job to come to find out that the last towel you're using is contaminated. And
actually begs a good question, just for those guys in the room that do coatings, and I know there's at least a few of you in here that do them. Who's throwing towels away and who's trying to reuse coating towels? Throw away.
Reuse them.
Are you reusing them?
Yeah, and when you reuse
But not on
them,
coatings, you're reusing them as
something else.
We use them as something else.
Yeah, but they never make paint towel. You never use them for
No,
that.
some of them do.
Yeah,
Some
so
do.
maybe wheels and
The idea though is that we take it and put it in a bucket of
soak.
we soak them right away.
That
So the
does make
moment
a
we're
difference.
done with coating a car, it goes into a bucket of solution.
Yeah,
Because
it has
then you-
absolutely no chance to
It's-
set up.
Then
Yeah.
you neuter the curing process, right?
Yeah.
It's not going to cure in the
And
bucket.
then
It's
we
some-
have a bucket of them, and then when we get a bunch full, then we'll throw them all in and wash them.
The
Yeah.
reason I do that is
Okay.
because it's something I see debated. There's the guys that do throw away, and I'm of the, I like a very, very short, very, very thin towel for coating removal. It's just my preference. And I generally use something that's a relatively inexpensive towel, not a low quality towel, but like just a one that I can afford to either retire to wheels or interior duty. But there's those people that are still online screaming like, you don't have to, you can use them as many times as you want, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I just want to put that one to bed for a little bit.
In my shop, I was a soaker.
Yeah.
Like we'd use them and then we'd put them in a bucket.
I heard that about you.
Yeah, I am a soaker. So,
But now it's weird.
No, we would do that. We would soak the towels and then we'd reuse them throughout the rest of the thing. And so they became interior towels after that.
Well, it's true statement, talking back to durability, that you can take the highest quality towel, throw it in a load of wash with cotton towels and ruin the performance.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
so
toast at that point.
durability of a towel really depends on
Maintenance.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is true of so many things. My process has always been, whether it was for business or for personal, is I think we could all agree the worst part of detailing is cleaning pads and cleaning towels. It's like if I had a shop, I'd probably hire someone just to do that, just so I wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But but you tend to want to phone it in, right? You want to like, yeah, they're clean, fold them, put them away. I kind of forced myself as a business, and then even now for my personal towels, it's like when they come out of being washed, I'm like doing a quick once over, combing the towels out with my fingers, make sure I don't feel any rough spots. I didn't pick up some like booger of, sap or something in there that's going to scratch everything I use that towel on in the future. Same way with pads. The pads get kind of okay, make sure they're dry, feel them out, check edges. Because the last thing on earth you want is that little hardened piece of sap in a towel, and you just spent 8 hours correcting out a car, and you go, scratch, crap. Or you've got a pad that you're like, yeah, it's good enough. You didn't realize that it was starting to, maybe it's on its 50th use and the backing's starting to come off. Next time you go to use it, the pad disintegrates on you and you end up gouging a paint job. So it's, an ounce of prevention's worth a pound of pain.
My favorite was grabbing a microfiber towel, lifting it up, and finding that they put some double-aught steel wool.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Down, and then they just set the towel on top.
So that's, you're not supposed to do that?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
I'm learning so much today from you.
Oh, yeah.
Super fun. Super fun to find that and go. All right, who did this?
I get to correct that again. Woohoo!
The whole having your wife do the wash thing, that's a new one on me.
Yeah, I've tried that when mine won't wash the towels.
Yeah, my wife told me I couldn't use the home laundry. When she saw it, every time I'm washing my towels, she's like, I have to wait till she runs out of the house. Like she's out doing something.
It's your secret shame.
It's a dirty secret that I have.
Your marriage is built on lies. It's terrible.
Did you get that? Did you hear that?
It's okay. She doesn't listen to the podcast.
Oh, good.
She didn't. Now she does.
Safe space.
Yeah. Nobody tell her.
Yeah. You're all sworn to secrecy, all of you.
Except we're making this public.
It's okay.
Well.
So you guys all went out and tried some of the new RUPES tools, used some of the pneumatic tools, and you guys used the new Millie. What did you guys... Millie? Like a Millie?
Millie.
Never asked Anthony to pronounce it.
Millie. So you guys use those tools. Who has some thoughts on it? Who wants to say something?
Well, here's a fun fact.
Okay.
Mille is Italian for 1,000, but the part number for the tool is 900.
Ooh.
I don't know if they did that to confuse us on purpose or yeah.
That'll be in the next trivia game.
Yeah. So just so you know, the LK900 is named the 1,000.
So Levi used the new pneumatic. Is it the new?
It's so new that it's not even shipping yet.
Triple action.
Triple action. What do you like? You thought the same thing that I thought. When you
we need an air compressor.
Yeah, we need
a big air compressor.
Yeah.
Well, so what about you guys? What did you try? Who tried something? It was like, oh my god,
change your life.
It changed my life. Or oh my god, that thing's terrible.
And everybody did use something, so I know you all used something. So
yeah. So the real question is, who's willing to admit how they feel about it?
Sure.
They're all
I used it before.
So when I was here with the first
training,
I got to use the Millet, and when as soon as budget allows it, I will absolutely throw my flex far over a cliff for it.
Did you get that? Did you get that?
You don't want to sell it? I mean, you can sell it.
That's a dirty four-letter F word you dropped in my training center. This is a family show.
But I dropped it in a classy way.
There you go.
Okay.
It's an amazing tool. I was impressed with its power. I was impressed with how smooth it was. I mean, start to finish.
Excellent. Your check will be waiting on the front desk on your way out.
To go buy that.
Just photograph from the right side.
Yeah. Beat the commenters there.
I was a Flex user until yesterday. I mean, I've always used Flex. I'm a hands-on guy. I've never got my hands on a RUPES until yesterday, and I'm buying, RUPES from
Nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Glaze Distributing, or one of our Denver distributors. Apparently.
I mean, nobody had ever offered for me to use a RUPES, and I'm just not going to buy one if I
don't get to play with it. Yeah.
I'm a hands-on guy. I got to feel it, see what it does, and
we heard that, so we built an entire facility just so you could come try it. Literally, it's just like a multi-million-dollar investment just so we could sell one tool to you. Isn't that cool? Like really, really bad business model. We're not economics of this are not working out.
It's genius.
It's only up here.
Well, the air tool. So, how many of you guys and girls actually have? I know you, so I'm not gonna. Steve doesn't have to answer this question, but how many of you actually have?
She doesn't want questions anyway.
How many of you can actually run air tools or trying to run air tools in a shop? I mean, you're mobile, so that's probably not a reality for you. But is any of the detail shop guys in here or home enthusiasts have a compressor and they're running air tools on?
Yeah,
cool.
Jerry can.
Yeah, Jerry does. Yeah. So that's one of those.
Because he has the same compressor you have.
Well, it's really convenient. Yeah, we use Steve's compressor. It's awesome.
About it, I didn't pay for it.
It is always the best way to go. Yeah.
It's better when it's free.
Yeah,
that's a really good air compressor.
I really like the compressor we have here because it means I don't have to buy one. So
there you go.
No, and I bring that question up because it's becoming more common for detail shops, I think, to want to have a compressor because pneumatic tools are starting. We have certain pneumatic tools, and there are other pneumatic tools out there that are very beneficial to a detail shop. But like for so long, everybody's just been on the plug. If you get used to using air tools, it's game changing. But I will preface this with you are going to have to invest in a somewhat substantial air compressor because to run an air tool you need, we'll put it in the range of 11 to 14, maybe 15 CFM, which means you're not going to go buy that little tiny pancake compressor with like the 2.5 gallon tank on it. That's not going to work. You're going to have to buy a big 60 gallon tank, probably 2-3 horsepower motor, something's going to put out that amount of CFM. You're probably going to spend $2,500, $3,000 on a compressor in that class. Once you have it, you have tools that are way lower maintenance than electric tools. You have fewer moving parts. They're lighter. A couple of drops of air tool oil and they run forever. Unlike an electric tool, which isn't bad, but an electric tool needs new carbon brushes.
Much longer tool life and lower maintenance schedule. And the other benefit of having a compressor is you can use it for other things besides just your polisher. So
blowing out pads.
Blowing out pads, but you can, change your wheels and tires with it. You can do all kinds of different stuff with compressed air.
Yeah. Would it make sense for like a hobbyist, because we have a couple hobbyists in there, to buy an air compressor for just this reason? I think we know of one particular hobbyist that invested in a very nice air compressor, but
yes and no. If you have the space for it, because the first restriction, not budget. Until you got a buddy who can hook you up with a good compressor at a decent price, it's going to take up. If you're just a basic 2-car garage, you're about to lose enough space that you may not be able to park a large vehicle in your garage. So there's that consideration, and you can get creative with placement. I've seen guys that have done like corner mounts and then have the compressor kind of mounted above and things like that. But it's absolutely worth it if you take it very seriously. If you are like a guy who's just every weekend you are maybe 2 times a week you're washing your car and you want to keep your stuff perfect and you're detailing for buddies, absolutely, because your initial investment's high, but over time air tools are going to save you a lot of money. So if you're in it for the long haul, I think so. It's just that initial crap, I could spend $2,000.
Yeah. That's for the loud one.
Yeah. Not everybody can have that one, Steve. Jeez, rub it in our faces.
We got a question, right?
Yeah. So the air tools, pneumatic tools, you have to put oil in it, right?
Yeah.
And how's the air? I see that it has an air silencer in the back, but is it gonna catch the oil coming out of the exhaust port?
Very good question. So if you put too much air tool oil in it, you could have oil. You'll be wearing because the exhaust is pointing towards you. First, you're going to wear it, but then it's going to be on the panels and all that kind of stuff. So absolutely. So it's a air tool oil. You don't need a lot. It's it's a drop. We actually supply with all our air tools this little tiny bottle of it, and it's pretty much like a lifetime supply. It's a drop at a time. It goes into kind of that tool maintenance category. If you no different than electric tools, you should be inspecting them, making sure the backing plate's tight, checking your connections, making sure the cord isn't frayed anywhere every time you put it away or before you use it. Air tools are the same thing. If you're gonna do the oiling, hook it up, put a white towel behind the exhaust and run the thing for a little bit. If it's gonna spit, let it spit onto that towel instead of while you're in the middle of polishing. But it's all part of that. It goes back to maintenance, just like the towels and the pads. It goes back to take care of your equipment, and your equipment takes care of you, kind of thing.
And one suggestion is a lot of these systems are sold with inline oilers, and you'll want to take that device out because you don't want that oil through all your hoses, and then the next time you put a blowgun on to blow your pad, you're going to be spitting oil on that pad. So.
Yeah, I'm going to clean my pad by adding oil to it. Kind of a counterintuitive.
Now inline filters, inline dryers, those are a good idea, but the inline oilers are not a good idea.
Yeah, and actually add on to that, the better the quality of the air that you're delivering to the tool, the longer the tool lasts. So if you don't put a dryer or some kind of a water trap on it, so you cheap out, you buy the compressor that'll run it, but then you're like, nope, I don't want the dryer, I don't want the trap, I don't want anything. It's getting weird.
Take a picture.
But if you're getting moist air through that tool, then you run the risk for rust buildup, all kinds of issues. So again, it's quality, and you got to have quality air going into the tool if you're going to run it for any period of time. All right, other questions from the audience? This is your guys' time. We opened up the house for you guys and gave you access to fellow detailing nerds. So is there anything you want to know, business related, anything like that?
So kind of going back to you can overheat a microfiber towel.
Yeah.
So if I did that, is that towel done?
Hypothetically, it's a friend.
Hypothetically speaking, if I heard about somebody that
I know a guy who maybe did that. Microfiber guys, would you care to answer that?
You can still use it. It's still good. It's just
Or a
Yeah.
soft surface.
Just remember those fibers have gone from this to this, so the towel's not going to be as absorbent. It's not going to do, I mean, as good of a job. It may not even feel as soft, but I mean, it still works as a towel for dirty jobs.
Yeah.
You can still use it for
what does a microfiber restore actually do?
So it cleans.
It's just
It doesn't restore.
It doesn't.
It's just a clever name.
It doesn't
It's not going to bring
resurrect.
it back from the dead. If
Oh,
that's what you're asking. No.
The resurrection soap. There we go. There's what you guys need to name.
I think you can charge a lot.
I got a lot of people for that already. Just
We're
throw your
gonna
towels.
unburn a towel.
Now you can, if you have a towel. Basically, though, if you have a towel that doesn't absorb anymore, where you will have folks. Again, that goes right back to using detail sprays that have a sealant or an SiO2 or something in it, and those are clogging the pores of the towel. That you can, if you use Micro Restore or you use distilled white vinegar, that will restore the absorbency in the towel.
It breaks it down inside.
But once those fibers have curled, I mean, at this point, it's a fist, and
it's punching your paint.
Well, and no, but a cotton fiber is just an arm and a fist. Like that's all cotton is. And so when you look at a cotton fiber on a microscope, yeah, it's got all these tattoos.
It's very aggressive.
Knuckles are done. But no, that's basically what it is. So as that hand closes down, it still works as a towel. It just is no longer.
You're just reducing the functionality a little bit by little bit until there's nothing left except for it starts to feel clumpy.
You can also sign up for the program on the ragcompany.com and we'll give you great discounts and deals.
Yeah.
Do you guys do trade-ins on people who've cooked towels?
We don't.
We're not a dealership.
We'll give you 5 cents for every towel.
Heat it up to 200 degrees.
That would be pretty great. I'd like to just.
We get people who ask if we'll wash their towels for them. We get that a lot.
Laundering service?
Yeah.
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 We're not doing
You
it.
could ship them to Boise and they'll do that. For a fee.
behind the warehouse and feed them a rock.
I'll go down to the laundromat. I'll wash them for
You
you.
guys have all this information on your website?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every towel.
Any other
goes way
questions?
out.
Burning deep inside you. You want to know.
Now's the time.
I mean, you didn't know you were going to be here and be on CNN.
This is related. I want to talk to the guys doing mobile in Colorado. So you're in a shop.
Where's my mobile guy? Yeah.
You're in a shop. You know, I'm assuming you probably go into hibernation around October, November-ish.
Yeah, but
things start getting weird.
The weather's so iffy with Colorado. Sometimes we'll get a weekend and it'll be good. I'm like, yeah, I can crank a couple out, and then Monday will snow, and then that same person's calling, hey, can we do that?
The scheduling has got to be.
So do you have people that are like literally on the hook waiting for weather, and then you're going to jump on their car and?
If I see the weather, I'm not going to go out and do the job. I'll be like, hey, it looks like we've got some overcast. Would you like to do an interior or reschedule altogether? So
Yeah.
I'll bring it to the customer's attention if they fail to look at the forecast.
Now, do you do mobile washing too?
Mm-hmm. It's just mostly interior detailing, exterior. I'm not doing too much polishing or like wet sanding, pipes and do stuff like that. It's just general wash, the foam bath, extraction, steaming. And
So I did mobile in California, and one time it actually got below freezing. And I was washing the car, and it was so funny because the water just literally froze on the car as I'm washing it.
Yeah,
So you must get that here,
Yeah, I
right?
was doing a big rig, and once I had all my stuff set up, I went to grab my gun, and then I see there was a water driplet that froze right on. I'm like, yep, this ain't going. And I sent pictures to the owner, and I was like, hey, we're gonna reschedule. I don't have a hot seat, so it's not like I'm able to use hot water. So
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely, there's times where I will chance it, but if it's under like 130 or something, I won't even try to go out and do it because it'll freeze on me.
There's mobile guys right now in California and Arizona stuff. They're just going. I don't know
what you're talking
what you just said. Like water freezes. Like other than like in a drink. Like,
I had an ice cube one.
Did you spill a margarita on it? I don't understand.
I actually didn't have a choice. I was doing a commercial a little while ago, and it was in Dunton Hot Springs in the middle of the winter.
Oh God.
And it was pretty much like 2 feet of snow. And I had my 50-gallon water tank because I have it in my truck, and pretty much wash it with cold water. Don't wash it with hot water. It's gonna freeze faster. It's gonna freeze faster. So yeah. Sometimes you have no choice, and always take all the water out of your tank and make sure all the lines are good. Your line freezes, and then
too.
Interesting. Yeah, you got to winterize it pretty much nightly, right? Yeah, that's crazy. So, like, what do you guys do then as a mobile guy? Let's say, for example, you got up that break in the weather on Saturday. You go in and you do that express detail, wash and wax, extract interior, and then the storm shows up. Because we know, like, weatherman is the only job you can have where you're wrong 90% of the time, but you're still a professional. Like, you know, like it's like if I screwed up cars 90% of the time, I'm not a detailer. Like, it doesn't work that way. But how it is in Colorado, like literally the storm's not supposed to be here till Wednesday. It shows up on Sunday. Do you offer any kind of like, we'll come, hey, I'm sorry, I'll come back and do a quick touch up for you, or is it just like, hey, sorry, pal, you're on your own?
No, I'll warn the customer. I'll just be like, hey, clouds are rolling in. They're obviously familiar with the weather, and I'll leave it up to them. If they do want to do it, I'll usually do the interiors first. But if they want to do the exterior, and I see an overcast coming in, I'll knock the exterior out first to lock that in and be like, well, it was good.
It was clean. I have a picture.
But like I said, I will tell the customer like, hey, there's a pretty good chance that we're going to get something, so it's their call at the end of the day. But I'm not going to go try to do it real quick and be like, give me my money, I'm gone.
Like, well, thanks, I'm out of here, bye.
Yeah.
Cool. No, it fascinates me because I was a California detailer too, so I never really dealt with it. But obviously relocated here to Colorado, and I find myself thinking like if I had to start that business over again here, I props to you guys. I'm like, man, I would have gone and sold insurance or something. Like, I'd be like, yeah, I'm out. I'm good.
Totally. And you were a California detailer, so it's like when we were detailing, there's a one cloud.
Oh, God, I'm going to cancel my whole schedule.
There's a cloud. You nervous? Storm Watch 2018.
But I mean, even the guys with the shops, like in Idaho, you still get weather, you still have all of that, and so like we still finish a car, and then I pull it out, park it in my lot, start on the next one, keep going, and call the customer, let them know it's ready to go, but hey, there's clouds coming and it's gonna dump on you.
You might want to get this into a garage.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Or they'll, pull in and it'll be pouring rain and it's gonna rain all day, but they still want to get it done inside and out, and then that's fine, at least it's protected.
Now in the summertime, Denver can get pretty hot during the day too, right? So you're still...
You can batten it on both ends.
Yeah.
You bring a canopy, but I'm sure that's overkill for California guys. Are like, well, it's not that hot here, but it gets.
We use canopies.
Yeah, canopies.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, like looking after your own health too. I mean, that's a big one. I mean, Levi always likes to bring that one up, whether you're dealing with the sun and you got to deal with skin cancer or something like that sneaking up.
Well, I mean, you guys, we all know Brian Guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he had half of his jaw and, half of part of his jaw and his neck removed because he got skin cancer.
Yep.
From not being safe and taking care of himself and being a mobile detailer for a number of years. And now that's all he talks about.
Yeah. So sunscreen, small price to pay, but it's one of those things.
Keep that
I didn't want to be a downer. It's just
everybody gets real quiet.
But it's even
It's kind of like the eye hanging out on there. People are dying here.
But on the other end of the spectrum, though, like he was saying, like he's washing it, it's freezing, and he's saying like you can't wash hot because it freezes fast. I've nearly eaten crap a number of times walking on ice. You picture washing in every driveway is slightly sloped, so you're out there washing a guy's car and it starts going ice rink on you. Yep. I mean, you could fall in. I mean, if you're a detailer, you make your living with your hands. You go legs up, scorpion style or something, and land on your elbow. I mean, you're out. And you now not only do you have medical bills, but you are out of work. Yep. You're not going to be able to run a polisher or you got a cast on. You're not running the pressure washer. You know what I mean? It's your means of employment just went away as well. So
look how it's working for Michelle.
Yeah.
Just polishing all day today.
Her hands still work.
Yeah.
I wasn't forcing
polishing on her
Well, cool. Any other questions, guys? This has been fun. I kind of like these.
It's impromptu.
We're just shooting breeze, man.
What's one piece of either wisdom or advice that you would have went back and told starting out you?
Don't start that detail business.
He's like, right? Am I right or am I right?
Yeah. Do something else. No, I don't know. For me, it's a lot of what Levi and I talked about in videos and what we're just talking about. It's the health concerns. I went through a stage. Everybody does this when you're young and invincible.
Gotta make money.
Everybody's young and invincible. And I'm like, masks, those are for sissies. Eye protection. I'll never do that. And then you start to like develop ailments, and you know, as I'm creeping up on 40 now, like my elbows make weird noises, my wrists don't work anymore.
Oh, stop that! Stop.
I can't even do that.
I have to do that about 50 times a day just to get my fingers to start working again, and it's all from just I got like back problems. So all the things I did as a young, like I could do this, I'd throw my back out and I'd still keep polishing.
Yeah,
that's all catching up with me now. So old creaky 90-year-old internal me is like, I want to go back and smack young me around and be like, dude, don't do that. Stretch first. Wear sunscreen.
Yeah,
like,
no, see a massage therapist.
Yeah,
get a massage. You know, at least every twice a year at the minimum.
I do that every week. Massage therapist and a chiropractor.
Yeah,
good man.
You know, I've got horrific osteoarthritis in my hands, and I've got golfer's elbow in both elbows from running a rotary for so many years. And
or
it's
too much golf.
I never played golf. Golfer's elbow. Seriously,
is that contagious?
Yeah. No, and it's one of those. But it's 20 years of doing repetitive motions. It's 20 years of squeezing spray bottles. It just tears up your hands and your joints. And
so that golfer's elbow is better than the detailer's elbow?
Well, tennis elbow's on the outside, golfer's elbow's on the inside.
Really?
And now you've learned something.
I need that graphic, the more you know thing to fly right now. I didn't know that. Now I thought it was, there we go.
And the detailer's elbow is in between?
The detailer's elbow is the golfer's elbow.
It's this part. That goes to your bones.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Wheel acid?
Wheel acid.
Wheel acid, well, let's take it to the modern era right now. I mean, the coating business is the biggest moneymaker, and everybody's getting there. It's great. Happy for you. I wish I could have charged the money dudes are charging now. I'm like, you guys are getting how much? Like, I hate Steve. But you got to realize this is silica. You got sprays, you got stuff they're flying, and dudes are just like, so if you can smell it and it makes your eyes water, that's probably not good. Like, brain cells are dying, bro. But yeah, I get it. It's get your money. You guys want to do it fast, and there's a lot of people just flooding the industry because it's easy money right now. Not easy money. It's easier money. I should say. Nothing about detailing is easy, but none of these guys are. Or I shouldn't say none. Very few are wearing respirators, and
well, that's just a big thing. Period.
Yeah,
we've got little kids.
Yeah,
like our kids are about the same age, and I look at it and go like, I'm 38 and I've got two little ones, but I've got 20 years of breathing hydrofluoric acid when I worked in a car wash when I was 17, and they were foaming it on cars. The first arch was an acid foam, and then as it got out, as the car made it out, it hit those blowers and it would just blow all that back, and you're running 250, 300 cars.
So you got an acid bath every day.
I got an acid bath every day, and we'd make fun of the new guy when we'd put him in the tunnel because they'd lose their voice after 2 days because of the acid. We thought that was funny.
Turns out he was committing a crime.
Yeah.
He just every time.
But we would laugh about it. We didn't know. We didn't know that was one of the symptoms of having to breathe hydrofluoric acid. You lose your voice. We're like, that's what happens to everybody who works in the tunnel. You lose their voice.
You worked in the tunnel today.
Yeah, you must have worked in the tunnel. You know,
you're gonna die.
You're gonna get some weird cancer now.
Every time it's like 10 minutes off your life or something.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I'm sure I shaved a lot.
Yeah.
That's
well, thanks for bringing it back to health. I feel validated now.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, but it is.
Yeah, but he said it in a very happy way. You were just a downer. He was like, haha, we almost killed the guy. You were like, sad. No, but I mean,
it's having that. It's, you know, I don't know. You guys, like, we've almost been in it at the same amount of time. It's all those years running heavy compounds and just.
Yeah, I didn't know we were admitting our age on this podcast.
Yeah, back when they used to polish the wagons, the wood polishing days.
You notice neither Anthony or I are giving any kind of timely advice.
Back when I shined up the arc.
So how was it polishing Conestoga wagons, Jason? What was it on the pioneering days?
To further answer your question, which is a very good question, though, what's good advice for people starting out? So safety obviously is a great point, but the other one is currently the technology in cars and the surfaces and the technology in polishing. I mean, look what's happened in polishing in the last 5 years. So I would suggest that people getting into the business, they don't do what I did, which was try and do the learning curve by yourself. So network with other detailers, get involved in the International Detailing Association, get some good training.
Come to podcast recordings.
Yeah, but seek out some education on it, because that long learning curve, which for me, because I'm a slow learner, I had a 12-year mobile detail business, but I didn't figure it out until 6 years into it. So I don't want that for other people. I want you to figure it out in 6 months and then start making some good money. So shorten the learning curve, get some training, get some certification.
Well, and now with all the, YouTube, iTunes, there's so much more. All of Facebook and all the groups, even we all love to hate them. There's so much information out there for the young guys coming up that there's no excuse.
Yeah, well, and it's you take it with a filter.
Yeah.
I mean, we got enough YouTube certified detailers out there, trust me. So I got my plaque. But yeah, we have more access to information than we've ever had before, but you have to be a conscientious consumer of that information, because it gets around fast. You can get access to it, but you can, just as quickly as you can get access to good information, get access to a lot of bad information. I mean, really bad information. So you can
polish your headlights with toothpaste.
Yeah, it's totally. Take the deep off-road or outdoor spray and just fixes everything.
Well, and if you use bad advice and you give it in a confident tone, people buy it. So that's something you got to look out for.
Yeah. Hey, some people make very good careers doing that.
Yeah.
We're laughing at you, not
saying anything.
It's all in the delivery. I know what I'm doing. Trust me, I'm an expert. But yeah, so to this point, you have more opportunities. I wish I had. I'm sure you're older than me. Back when they used to do the telegraph thing. Is that what it was? Telegraph. You used to sell smoke signals. But
the first texting.
When I started out, I didn't have access to that kind of stuff, and kind of early on, forums became a thing, which forums have gone so far away now. But that was like an area you go and exchange ideas and learn and stuff like that. And that was relatively new, and it's blown up to such a degree that guys coming in now or guys who are active now can at least get introduced to new ideas and products so quickly. Kind of felt like I worked on an island a little bit in the early days, because it was like, almost nobody called it detailing. It was like, what do you do? I clean cars really well, polish cars. Detailing was not that wasn't a word.
Well, when you say I'm a detailer, they go, what?
Do you like bedazzle jeans or something? Yeah. What is that? I don't know what that is. Yeah. So you've got access to a really wide amount of information now, and it's a cool time to be a detailer. I learn things all the time, finding new products and new things happening just on the daily through just going through social media by default. It just gets dumped on me.
How legal tank goes on your truck.
Yeah. Yes.
Illegal tent.
Quiet, Steve. Don't need any more tickets.
It's not like there's any policemen listening to this podcast.
What's your law enforcement contingent like? What's the demographic there?
Where do you live in Longmont?
No, but the other big thing is this.
Let me get his address.
Connecting with other detailers, asking questions.
Yep.
If there's a guy who you like the kind of work that they're doing, you like what they're putting out, talk to them.
Yeah.
Go visit their shop, talk to them, see what kind of tips and tricks that you can pull up from them, or you can pick their brain. Find a guy that's been doing it longer and just see. Both of you may learn from each other. That's the coolest thing about it.
Steve loves people to come by his shop and ask all the questions, right?
Especially if they'll pick up a polisher and help, right?
Hell yeah.
I don't do that.
We got a lot of everything.
Yeah.
A lot of trade secrets to share.
I'm taking a video camera next time and I'm selling it all on YouTube. Like Steve's secret process. Yeah. Documented.
No,
white vinegar.
Alcohol for windows. So you already put that one out. But yeah, no, good question. Anything else, guys? I mean, again, the floor is yours. This is your time, our open house. We're hoping to do more of these, but you're literally the first podcast in here. You're the first open house.
Woohoo!
Look at that. You're number one.
I got one more. Nobody's gonna ask. With certifications. Certifications are great in this industry. People don't. The average customer client doesn't fully care.
Can I take this one?
Yeah.
Can I take this one?
Go for it.
Please.
Okay, so
they don't care or they don't know.
Yeah. Certifications are great. Asterisk. Okay. Not all of them are. There's plenty of companies out there that are hiding a product showcase behind a certification. They're not. They're selling you a bag of goods, and you get some knowledge, and not trying to discount. They are training you on something, but it's like
you on the product.
They're training you on their product, which is good if you want to know everything about a specific product line. Especially, I think in the high end, in the coatings and stuff, it's stuff's very valuable because you need to know the ins and outs of that product. That's a level that this industry's gotten to. But there are also those guys that are basically almost doing the timeshare pitch to you. It's like, so here's some very basic information. Now, would you like to buy our $5,000 product package and be a distributor? That's not certification. That's you're buying a timeshare, but instead of a timeshare's product.
That's being certifiable.
Yeah, it's being certifiable. There are manufacturer certifications. We certify for a number of our classes that you've completed training on our systems. We don't say that you're a master detailer. We don't say that you are king of the world. We say you have completed. We don't really even certify technically.
Yeah.
The certificate says Anthony has completed the Bigfoot Basics training course. Completed. Just means you attended. That's all it is, right?
Nice. Used a rotary today.
Master of rotary.
Yes.
You're certifiable.
But so if you're looking at and talking in blanket statements, I volunteer for the IDA Communications Committee. I am a certified and skills validated detailer. I'm going to go for my training as well. I want to be an RT.
Yay!
Mr. Gates here is on that level as well. Mr. Rose, I think he knows a fewer things. He might have been involved in the IDA at some point along the way. He knows his stuff. But the IDA it gets its fair amount of heat from people who don't believe in certification. The drum they beat is that, well, my customers don't care. What I will say to that is that is a failure on them to educate their customers on what the IDA is. Because if anybody runs a business and thinks they're going to get a piece of paper, put it on the wall, and all of a sudden droves of people are going to line up and go, oh, you're certified, I want my detail done here. It's not how it works.
Yeah.
You still have to do the legwork. You have to draw people into your business, and it's just a feature that you now have. You can point to that the certificate on the wall and say, I know you don't understand this, but there is this governing body that is starting to form. It's kind of like ASE for mechanics or any number of industry certifications. I have gone through training to become a certified detailer. I have had my skills validated because I believe in education. I believe that I want to be a part of organizing and keeping the industry on the up and up, right? But just putting it on the wall, that was never ever going to generate business. And so anybody who ever says that to me, it's clear they've missed the point entirely, right? Yeah. Because it's every IDA certified detailer's job to educate their customers on why they're certified. It's not the customer's job to come in and ask what the certification is. I mean, that's kind of crazy. We will get to a point, I think, as the IDA grows, which it is growing rapidly.
We've got over 1,000 members.
And adding more time, there's international chapters starting up. When it gets to kind of critical mass, the mission, as I believe it is, and I've heard it said over and over again, the IDA will start then outward marketing to the public saying...
IDA's already started on a small scale, but once it gets big enough, there'll be the budget to go larger scale.
Yeah.
And that's going to educate consumers on what it's all about. But in the short term, it's the grassroots educating by detailers to educate their customers. But you're right about one thing, is not every consumer is going to give a rip. Okay? But the thing you should stand up and be proud about is say, hey, look, there are detailers in your community. You can go hire their services, and they're self-proclaimed great detailers, right? They're a good detailer because they said they were. But here is an opportunity where you can say to your customer, I'm a good detailer, but I've also been verified by a third-party independent agency that has verified my skills. It's not me saying I'm good. I've had another agency that verified the skills. Now, not all the consumers are going to care about that, but you know what? That does mean something. Because the average consumer, I guarantee you, they're hiring plumbers and handymen, whatever, and they're checking out credentials now more than they ever did. Yeah. So now if you have credentials, you've got it there.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things I always said was I asked a person if they bought a house. And they say, yeah. And I go, well, did you have somebody inspect your house? And they said, yeah. I go, well, was he certified? Did he have a license? Did he this, or did you just pick the guy in the
random hobo on the street corner
on Craigslist that was doing it for a $50 special? And they'd say, oh, no, I had a guy that he showed up and he he showed me all certifications and all the things that he was accredited for, and that's why we had him do, because he's this. And I'd say, okay, well, you can have that $50 Craigslist guy do your car, or you can have me do it because I have this.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, that would set us apart.
And there's
other guys in
criticism for the kind of the anti-IDA guys is they're misinterpreting the certified and skills validated things. It doesn't mean you are the world's greatest detailer. To say you're a certified detailer, it means, if for those who've never done the test, it is not how shiny can you make this car. It is the basics. It is when do you use. You've got a tannin stain in an interior. What kind of cleaner are you going to use? It's stuff like that. It's about PPE. It's about using eyewear and about using respirators when it's important. It's
where
about
do you put your flammable liquids.
Yeah, where do you keep your flammable liquids?
You put them in the center of your shop. You put them in the cabinet.
It's actually very.
It's the basics. It's proving that you know the proper way to take care of things, not only just from the process of cleaning a vehicle, but also safety within a business and running your things.
Actually, I was part of the certification committee that created the test. So the objective of the what's that?
On that committee.
We got 2 guys on a committee. I'm on a committee.
The objective of the certification is not to establish that you're a master detailer. What it is, it's a screening device to screen out the guys with a hose and a bucket that say I'm a detailer. That's what its purpose is. So we want to differentiate from those guys that are, self-proclaimed detailers and the ones that really know how to operate the detail business, how to be safe about it.
Make sure you have, you carry insurance, that you carry,
you're ethical.
You're not dumping diesel fuel down the drain, things like that.
Yeah, anybody who hasn't gone through the process, I hadn't done it for years, and it was it was one of those, I was going to get to it, and the opportunity presented itself, and now I've done it. I was a believer before, I'm even more a believer now, because it does just touch on those basic elemental things of just being a conscientious person running a business. It's not, I get so tired of the IDA test is too easy. It's like, what do you want? We're not certifying you to be
the best detailer.
Certifying you to be a detailer at any skill level. You're not going to ruin somebody's car or kill somebody. That's what we're going for. And that's what ASE is about. ASE certified mechanics aren't better mechanics. They've proven that they are safe mechanics.
They know what a wrench is.
Yeah, they know what a wrench is. They use torque spec instead of the how many chugga chuggas would you like on the impact wrench? 1 or 2. It's
I like the more chugga chuggas.
I like my wheels torqued with a 3 chugga chugga, please. But so that's the core of it. So in a really roundabout way of answering your questions, yes, certification is very important. I encourage anybody who takes their business seriously to do it.
Yep.
It's not a money grab by anybody. The money that you pay into that process is going to grow the IDA, so ultimately it can get to that broad thing where they're then educating the consumer to go, you want to find a IDA certified detailer, not just any detailer.
Yeah.
And when it gets to that point, the last thing you want to be is the dude in your area who doesn't have it when another guy does.
Yeah.
Because when the first customer asks you that question, after you go, I don't need it all these years, and that ends up losing you one job, you could have paid for that certification and been done and had that. So you're going to lose that money like that and go, great, I could have paid the couple $100 and been certified. And
Well, especially when that customer asks.
Yeah, and it's going to happen.
Because if they're calling around, there's 2 or 3 other guys in the area that are, they'll tout that, they'll say that. So
right now we probably have about 30% ask about it.
Yeah.
They'll see it on our wall and they'll ask about it. And what does that mean? Give them the same speech that you guys.
See, that's totally justifiable. 30% of your customers responding to just seeing something on a wall, that is totally justifiable.
Yeah. And we can put it on. Anthony's got his badge on his shirt. He's a certified detailer.
I am right there, and you know what? It has made a difference for me because when it comes down to even me doing details on the side, I have a friend who has a dad who has a whole collection of some of the nicest cars I've ever seen in my life. A 4 GT Heritage Edition, 2 identical 65 Shelby GT350s, like several $100,000 cars. And when he asked me, he said, "Hey, do you know how to detail?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm a detailer." And he said, "Okay, well, can I trust you detailing these cars?" And I know, and this is when I say I'm a certified detailer. I know that doesn't mean everything, but he felt so much more comfortable hearing that I'm a certified
So you're a
detailer,
member of the IDA.
showing my picture that I'm a member of the IDA, he's like, okay, I feel really comfortable with you doing that, and that may not work in
So
everybody's
that's an
favor.
example of a consumer that made a difference to him.
And we made a YouTube video.
And sometimes those consumers are the ones where you're going to make a decent amount of money off that detail, and if you were to lose that to somebody that wasn't a member of the IDA, that wasn't maybe certified, or an SV.
You also remember customers are going to talk to each other. So that person that you're going to detail that car for, if you do a really great job on it, and that's one of the things you tout, they'll tell their friends, or their friends will see their car and go, "Man, who'd you have do your car? Mine doesn't look like that," or this, and they can bring that up in conversation. And again, it just goes along and can help. So.
And it's basic sales.
Yeah.
And if anybody is sales minded, I am heavily sales minded, but the goal is always to remove the objections to purchase, right? Customer first objection typically is price. That's always one that we combat, and that's for you to decide. But any gate that you can remove from that decision making process. So if the decision for them is like, oh, can I trust this guy? If it's just as simple as saying, yeah, I'm certified by the IDA, boom, that's one less barrier you have to break through to get that guy. If it's only 30% of the people, that's still 30% of your potential clients. Could you do without 30% of your customers right now? Bam. So think about it in terms of what you can use it as a sales tool versus just a plaque hanging on the wall that says you did something. I mean, that's the angle. That was a really long answer to a very short question.
Long answer.
It's a good answer. Good answer.
So sign up for the IDA.
Yeah, we're actually going to be running. I should mention that Mr. Rose is going to be running the very first IDA certification class in the facility in April.
Nice.
So and that's something. Yeah,
It does. This counts as your continuing ed. It does.
We'll see if
Me too?
the team matches.
But so we'll that'll be a regular occurrence here because RUPES actually requires, and you guys can see we are actually a founding member of the IDA, but we do require that every person that has a sales or technical position in the company has to be certified and skills validated to work here. It's part of your employment. So
And because RUPES is doing that, we are doing that at the Rag Company. So Dane will have a patch soon.
Yep.
Anthony's working on his next patch, and that's why I got my RT so that I could also help administer that, and then at the same time hold CD and a day events, hold SVs for the local.
So it'll be an
guys.
ongoing thing. So like we talked about at the beginning, that's another part of what we'll be doing here is those CD and SV exams, which makes another spot where there's going to be more people certified. So those of you in the room who want to get certified, talk to Mr. Rose.
April 5th.
Very cool. All right, guys. Yeah, Dane.
Wrap it up. All right. So no more questions. Did I miss anybody? No. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for coming out here. We really appreciate it. And you guys have any last notes or anything like that you want to throw in
Thanks
there?
everybody for coming.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it's an investment. I get it. It's 7:00 at night. You guys have been here for a while now. I'm just listening to us ramble. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
it's pretty serious if you guys are still here. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very
hopefully
much.
you took something away from this, and we'll be doing more of these. You guys are coming back at some point. I'm going to have to
Hopefully,
convince you.
yeah.
I got to get Anthony to
Wasn't
walk my
too
car
bad.
again.
Probably not.
But so hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and thank you for coming out, and everybody in podcast land. Hopefully we can get you in here for a podcast at some time. We'll just bring you guys back out and keep doing these.
Yeah, thanks for
Absolutely.
listening.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. We'll catch you on the next one.